Hello, we're Christian and Karine from CKPerformanceClinics and welcome to number 5 of our Learning to Loop series.
It's a biggie, we're super excited. In this episode, we are marrying two moves, a jump transition with your trusty downloop. The downloop jump transition is a perfect move to progress onto.
As the kite travels down and round, it gives you just the right amount of pull for the ultimate transition. This time, the pull from the loop will be happening in the air.
Yes, that's right.
Sounds a tad scary.
But if you've been following our Learning to Loop series and practicing all your exercises, you have the skills for the air downloop.
However, we're not going to suggest that you just go out there and pull the trigger.
It's all about the process. In this video, we're going to give you the tools to build up your confidence so that you feel ready.
As such, we've split the downloop jump transition into 2 parts.
Part 1 is a warm-up phase or the late down loop. The aim here is to practice a jump transition with a super late down loop.
By super late, we mean that the downloop and pull will happen after you land. Then, part 2, the downloop jump transition, in which the loop starts earlier on the way down whilst you're still in the air. In this video, we'll assume that you already have your jump transition in the bag.
Therefore, we're going to focus on the intricacies and timing of the loop. The best way to get in the mood is to warm up with a few jump transitions and down loops. Remember the 10 rules of all things loop? They're as important as ever. Space. You're jumping, you're turning, you're looping, you will be traveling, so make sure you have plenty of space.
The conditions you choose for your first attempts will have a big bearing on the outcome. Just pad enough so that you can get off the water. A gentle transition, you don't need much height.
The kite position here refers to the position of your kite once you're in the air.
It needs to be around 12 o'clock. To make sure that your kite is waiting in the right place, don't send it too far behind 12 and do level your bar on takeoff.
Bar on the sweet spot. You need tension in your lines for the kite to be responsive.
Breathe. You've got time. The loop is late. Be patient.
The full Monty. You can mellow the jump, but definitely not the loop. You know the score. 200% commitment all the way. Knowing and visualizing where the pull will come from when you loop the kite is crucial. This gives you the direction in which you need to point the board for the landing.
In any jump, you'll always aim to land and point the board somewhat downwind. When you add the down loop, the kite will pull you forward and downwind. That's where you want to land. As it's a transition, you'll need to land with your new leading foot forward. Think of it as landing slightly toe side of dead downwind.
The key is to look towards the pull. Don't turn your head and body in the new direction. Approach on a good edge with your kite around 1 or 11 o'clock. Slow down by letting the bar out a touch.
Send your kite to just past 12. Kick off and extend against your edge. Pull in and level your bar.
Bring your knees up and keep the bar in.
The aim is to get your board into position and yourself ready for the pull. So bring the new leading foot through and steer the kite gently forward.
Drop your legs and look towards where the pull will come from.
Aim to land tail first, pointing a few degrees forward of downwind. As you brush the water, this is your cue.
Give it the full Monty on the bar using both hands. Keep your weight back, commit, lock in.
Watch the kite round, follow it and carve back onto your heel side edge.
As the kite starts to rise, ease the bar out to let the kite breathe and level off. Once you're comfortable, you can untwist your lines. There's no rush. Brilliant! Now it's all about practicing hundreds of these beauties. Make sure your grip on the bar is wide enough to get maximum leverage for the loop. If you ride with your hands close together, you can widen your grip before takeoff.
Or you can do it whilst in the air by sliding your leading hand forward for extra purchase.
A very good drill is to aim to loop the kite a tiny bit earlier. This way there will be less delay between you touching down and the kite pulling.
You need to anticipate your landing by initiating the loop just before you touch the water.
What are the next steps? Effectively doing the loop even earlier. Your aim is to get the pull while still in the air.
Using the kite to pull you fluidly through the transition as you're coming down from your jump, so that you exit smoothly, in control and with a big grin on your face.
There are two important factors you need to consider when you are in the air hanging under a kite.
Kite position. The secret to a smooth transition lies in the positioning of your kite when you initiate the down loop. It always needs to be in front of 12. This way the kite's pull leads you smoothly out of the transition.
One way to think about it is to break down the action into two consecutive steps. In step 1, you steer the kite forward. Step 2 is your full Monty, 200% commitment.
Timing. Now the big question, when? There's no hard and fast rule, as there are so many variables, including kite size, height, speed of travel.
One thing is for sure, always on the way down. As you descend, you steer the kite forward, then pull the trigger. The best way to get the timing for the loop is to build up to it by going a fraction earlier each time until you feel the pull in the air.
This time round, you're going for a little more height.
Approach with a bit more speed, comfortably powered and on a good edge.
Send your kite, extend and kick off against your edge, pull in and level your bar.
Lift your knees, keep the bar in and chill on the way up.
When you start to drop, it's time to get things underway. Ease your bar out to the sweet spot and slide your front hand forward.
Steer the kite forward past 12 and in front of you. As the kite moves, it will pull. This is your cue.
Give it the full Monty.
Point your board towards the pool with your new leading foot. Stay locked in and committed.
Focus your eyes on where you'll land.
Aim to land tail first.
Level off and ease your bar out, encouraging your kite to fly in the new direction. Follow the kite whilst carving onto your heels to keep tension in the lines.
There is no rush to untwist your lines. Time to celebrate!
Next steps. Tearing through the loop even earlier so that the kite finishes its down loop and you're still flying.
In this case, you will have to level your bar just before you touch down to stop the kite going back up to 12. Be aware that if you go too early, the kite won't pull you out of the transition. You will end up with a lot of slack motoring downwind.
This feels incredible, but do make sure to use your momentum to get back onto your edge, driving upwind so that you can regain tension on your lines. That's it, your first loop with a kite whilst flying.
How exciting! Now lots of homework.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Cheerio!